this journey. As you can hear, my lovely daughter shared her sickness with me. I'm not as severe as what she is, thank God. But I got something going on. It's a throat thing, so excuse my voice and how I sound. But I wanted to come in and do this update. I've been off running errands this morning. Went to the gym, so excuse to get up. But I'm very happy about that. So I'll start with my stats. So yesterday, Friday, the 5th is my weigh-in day. Well, Fridays are always my weigh-in day. Oh my gosh, my head is so confused, I think, from the sickness. Anyway, Fridays are my weigh-in day, so that's when I weighed in. Friday would have landed 7 weeks post-op of RNY, which I always forget to share some of this information, but I got my RNY down in Utica, New York, through Dr. Graber's office, and got the surgery, faxed in, the hospital. St. Luke's, Elizabeth. See, I'm confused. Faxed hospital, so more than recommend him. He was awesome and did a fantastic job, and his center is so well organized. So 7 weeks out now. My high weight prior to surgery, way back 6 months post or pre-op, it's 273. Surgery weight was 256. My current weight on Friday was 224.2, which was 3 pounds lost for the week, which is a good loss. But I feel like 3 is my number, which if I'm consistently 3 pounds, then I'm happy with that. I'd like to push to see a little more, but I'm a consistent 3-pound loser, so, but I'm good with that. I've got over it, and I'm moving on. So since surgery, I've lost 31.8 pounds for a total pound loss of 48.8. Fantastic. But I wanted to share, even though technically it should go on next week's update video, that this morning I weighed in and I hit the 50-pound mark. Oh, I am so happy. So that is made me feel really good. So, but I'll probably talk about that more in the next video because it'll land on next week's update. But 50 pounds. 50 pounds! That is amazing. I don't think in any other scenario outside of getting this surgery, even though it's an extreme to go to reach these goals, I don't think I could ever lose 50 pounds. Anytime I've ever tried to lose weight before, it's always been 20, 30. I have never hit that 50-pound mark, so that just means a lot to me. I am down 50 pounds, and it's amazing. So anyway, so like I said, I joined the gym this week, so hence the get up. Even though I'm not feeling the greatest, it's just more like a throat thing, so I still went today. I did my day 1 of couch to 10K. Over the summer I did couch to 5K, so I figured I'd step it up a notch. But I found it's been a while since I've been out trying to run at all, so it took effort, and so I watch Lauren Losing and Fly Girl VSG, and they're just oh, this is easy, when does it get hard? And I'm sweating, breathing hard. Obviously I'm not in as good a shape as them, but I didn't really foresee day 1 taking that much out of me, and maybe it's a part of the sickness, but probably not. It's just probably the fact that I'm a bit out of shape, and I really haven't been doing a whole lot since surgery, besides doing Zumba a couple days a week when I can. But I'm glad I'm back in. It made me feel good walking out, I'm gonna do this, and I actually switched it up. So in June, I'm still doing the Survivor Beach, which is a 5K that is on a beach. And it has some obstacle courses on it, or obstacle courses, I guess. And then in September, I was going to do the inflation 5K, but it lands on the same day as our it's a run for recovery. It's up in Watertown, New York, and it's just a very good cause. I did that run last year, it landed on the same day, so I'm going to end up doing the run for recovery. Every year they represent two people who have passed away either to drug use or alcohol use or DWI accidents or those type of situations. And actually, one of the people they're representing this year I actually knew, so 100% hands down. Even though the inflation 5K really did sound like a fun time, I'm definitely gonna do the run for recovery because it's near and dear to my heart. I think I've definitely mentioned on here before that I used to be a substance abuse counselor, so it's just hits home. So, oh, excuse me. So the book, I made ways through it. I made it to my first little set of exercises, which I actually haven't done yet, and that's why I haven't probably moved forward. I was gonna find time to sit down and like almost kind of like journal. The first little chapter was about about the book, and then the second one was more about spirituality and you know, that type of stuff. So I gotta just find time to sit down and answer some of those questions. But when she was talking about the book, and how it was going to be, and about how weight loss, surgery patients, and how this whole process really does affect us all, and that we will go through some form of an emotional roller coaster. For my reasons might be a lot different than other people's reasons. But then she did talk about this point in time of surgery, I'm 7 weeks out, so that's not very far, and she correlates it with a lot of scenarios that feed into the addiction world, which made me kind of put it all together because I have a history with that. But from working in it, and it made me think this point in time, this 7 weeks out. So the scale is going down, starting to feel a little better about myself. I'm starting to get into some smaller size clothes. Things are fitting differently. I have more energy. Things are great and grand. And I never got the crazy emotional time after, right after surgery. I never got the regrets for having surgery. So I know some people struggle at that as well. But so I relate. So in the addiction world, when a person first becomes sober, they're in this state of mind, which most addictions counselors call the pink cloud, and about how everything is great and everything's wonderful and I'm not using and everything's fantastic and everything's going to work itself out and I'm going to have the best life ever. And then a lot of times that pink cloud happens when they're in rehabs and things are very controlled. And even, if they're not, and they're looking at life in such a great way, but then things happen and you get tripped up. And in their cases, they kind of drop down from that pink cloud, and they have to face life. And sometimes it's too hard for people who are addicted and they turn back to using. So, in our scenario, at some point, it's not going to be roses and unicorns, and our scales aren't going to be as friendly to us, and things will even themselves out, and at that point in time, we're gonna get tripped up on something. Who knows what it is? And I think for everybody's situation it'll be different. But in our cases, our addiction being food, and as much, some people believe they were addicted and not, but this is just a example or a scenario. We truly can't return back to food in maybe the means that we did before, because our physical body is going to stop us from doing that. And so then we're forced to deal with whatever those things are that trip us up, which then makes us more mentally stressed, mentally challenged into what can I do now? And do I go a little this way, go a little crazy until I can figure out things in life, which, can happen. Or, who knows? Or some people, they may return back to food and, like, start eating those slider foods or those negative foods that will affect their weight, and then they gain weight. And then that's a problem, because then they're more depressed because now I've regained so much weight. So it just made sense, and I'm hoping I am explaining it to y'all, and it's making sense. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to put them down below, and I'll try my best to answer them. But I think this book is making me think about some things, and so maybe more preparing me for the future. And I think, that's what I did through this whole process. Research, and the more I can take in, the better. And Facebook for support, I feel that's what I get there. But also YouTube, like, when I'm hearing other people's stories and their struggles and real life stuff, then that's a good learning experience for me too. So far so good. And I will continue to share information as I read and take it in, and hopefully maybe set off some light bulb. If I set off some light bulb in one person's life, then that's good enough for me. So last night was the first night that I actually went out to eat since surgery. Wasn't too bad. I, of course, reviewed the menu before I went. Everybody that I was with knew that they were all friends of mine. And I'm not, I don't keep the surgery a secret. And so they all knew my situation, my scenarios. There was no judgment. The group I was with, there's, very caring, very supportive. So it was good though. I was a little bit nervous, but I didn't push how much I was eating. Did the bare minimum, got the to-go box, brought it home, fed it all to my children, and that was that. So that was good. I'm really seeing that people are starting to notice me losing weight. Not even, like, people who know me have already noticed, but these are more like acquaintances. I work at a school, a counselor at a school, and so, one of the people from the administrative office that I don't talk to, like, very often at all, just, she saw me and she stopped. She's like, I think, I noticed you've been losing weight. I said, yes, thank you, and then she's like, how much have you lost? And at the time, it was like 47, 48 pounds, maybe 48, and, she's like, what are you doing? And I said, well, to be honest, I had the weight loss surgery. So, which, anyone who's asks, I'm going to tell them the truth, but I almost, unfortunately, feel like the second that comes out, it takes away the credit of, like, what I'm doing. Like, I am working hard, I am making sure I'm eating the right things, I'm working out, I'm pushing myself, and it's like, I say, well, weight loss surgery, and people are just like, oh, okay, like, no, like, and so I went on to tell her, like, well, I lost so much before surgery, and this person I knew was a runner, and so I told her about how I did the Cash to 5K this summer, and I, starting it up, now, and with our lovely winter weather, I was, I just got a membership at a gym. Like, I felt the need to explain all this stuff, like, yes, I had the surgery and I'm doing well, but that's not everything. Like, I'm doing other things, and it's not like I'm just sitting around letting the surgery do its thing. Like, I'm working hard at this, and I want some credit. But, it is what it is. So, guys, that is about all I have for you this week. I hope everybody is doing great and fantastic. Oh, and by the way, my, excuse me, my Facebook name has changed. It's Molly Journey. Hence, my name is Molly, and Facebook made me change my name because they were not accepting Mall. Which Mall is, what, like, my family calls me. It's kind of a nickname. So either way, whatever y'all want to call me. Mall, Molly. A few people call me Mo, but, mostly Mall and Molly. So, on Facebook, if you haven't noticed it, or if you're new to watching this and want to look me up, it's Molly Journey. And that's about it. So, everybody have a fantastic week, and I will see you next week. Love y'all. Bye.